as far as horror genre, that is my niche since I was a kid. The
Yeah.
60s and 70s. Back in North Carolina, there was a show called Creature Feature. So every weekend was going to be a horror movie. The Lon Chaney, the Bela Lugosi's,
Yeah.
the original monster movies. And I just got hooked then.
Yeah.
And he's at the end, and it's shining up this tall figure just standing there waiting for you as you're. For the most part, I surround myself with people who love me.
Right.
And once you get to know me, it's hard to hate me for being gay. See you soon.
The Keep On Talking Joe podcast. Yeah, I think I nailed it.
Really wanted you guys to come in because every podcast I've done so far, I've made movie references. And
Yes.
most people don't catch them. And you may not either, because I'm, I have some very obscure things I like. But I've had, like I said, every one of them. And my wife is, we used to watch movies all the time together. But now with her streaming, her attention span's so I get her to sit down with me once a week and, watch one. And then Eden, my daughter, you guys met. She was a movie buff, so she'll have mercy on me and watch the show one with me every once in a while. But I have an 8-year-old, and he turned on the movies, and we watched about 2 or 3. Started watching Forrest Gump.
Oh,
Nice. That's a good start.
Yeah, and then we started watching another little show, and then he bailed on me, so
Oh,
I'm back to yeah.
Aw.
But I do love movies, and I'm a big horror fan. My horror fan, what I like about horror movies is some movies. I'm not a big slasher as much as some.
right.
I like them. I like the thrilling part of it, but I'm more into like. Are you guys up to on some of the newer ones like Nefarious and what
I
is the
haven't seen
one?
Nefarious.
Yeah, what is well Nefarious wasn't actually. There's also another one where it's like an interview style where the I think that might have was that Nefarious Eden. Yeah. So this fella, and I'll get off on random runs here, but
Right. That's fine.
That's
could
fine.
we maybe move your mic a little closer? Yeah, I'm afraid we're gonna get a bunch of echo with it that
Okay.
far away.
All right.
Yeah. Um. So this particular movie, I bet they filmed it with. I mean, it had to be all the money had to just go to the actors because it was set in one room, pretty much the whole movie, and it was being interviewed. This so a lawyer, or no, a psychologist was coming into a prison to interview someone who was on death row
Okay.
to see whether or not he was trying to uh, get that he was mentally incapable of being put to death. And because he said he was possessed by a particular
Right.
demon.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Tristan,
we
can you
see
look that
that?
I
up
think
for
we
me?
did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, and the whole movie, it was just more just all audio, and it was really interesting. That's the kind of stuff I like.
Yeah.
I like those. And also I'm
Suspenseful.
a big vampire
Well,
fan.
there's so much you can do with horror that you
Yeah.
can't with other genres.
Yeah.
There's you could just be so creative.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's why I wanted to get you guys in. Because I'm fascinated with it. A friend of mine, I don't know if you talked to her. She actually works here, Dawn Bergeron.
Yeah.
Dawn
I went
She knows
said,
her
to
from high
school
school.
with her.
yeah, Dawn was like, you're gonna need to get these on. These are gonna be a lot of fun. And so started doing research, and I seen what you guys did, so I definitely wanted to get you on.
I didn't realize that she worked with you.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
she's awesome.
Hey, Dawn.
Yeah, she's been with me in different capacities. Don't worry about it. Just put your you got. I'm sorry, with something we're trying different behind Edie. Yeah, there you go. Dawn's been with me for several years. She worked with me in different spots, but she's great. And she said, yeah, she really said this is gonna be a different bunch for you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I see you guys had a pretty diverse background, and you have your day jobs as they
Yeah.
say, as we all do. But what kind of drew you to trying to put together this studio or this idea of producing these short films?
Do you want to answer that or?
I'll start with my half. As far as starting a new studio, my background, I had a photography studio back in North Carolina, and that kind of started me with the photography part of it.
Yeah.
Creative wise, as far as horror genre, that is my niche since I was a kid, the
Yeah.
60s and 70s. Back in North Carolina, there was a show called Creature Feature. So
Mhm.
every weekend was going to be a horror movie. The Lon Chaney, the Bela Lugosi's,
Yeah.
the original monster movies. And I just got hooked then.
Yeah.
And as far as making movies, we started going to film festivals. And then the film festivals would have all types of workshops: how to do this, how to write a script, how to create characters, how to film, and talked about equipment. And we were like, well, hey, I think we might be able to do this.
Yeah.
And we decided one weekend we would try it. And it just kind of snowballed.
So, specifically, we went to the Cinema Sisters Film Festival. It's the only all lesbian film festival in the United States, and it's in Paducah.
That's crazy to think. It's the
Right.
Yes,
only,
it
you know,
is.
say that it's the only one in the entire
It's
United
the
States,
only
And it's
That's
in
one.
all lesbians. Yes.
and
Yeah,
it's here. Yeah.
Yes.
it's all
Absolutely.
lesbian produced.
I got you.
So,
Yeah.
Yep.
um, and it's in Paducah.
Okay.
And so we started going there, I believe, in 2018.
Hmm.
And I mean, they have the best workshops, and it's the weekend of Memorial Day every year, and it is just the best weekend of the year for
Yeah.
us. It's amazing.
Well, yeah, I definitely have a lot of connections. Do they have so being the only one, do they have people from all over come
Everywhere.
in?
All over the
It is an
world,
international. I mean, they have
International.
people. Yeah,
all over the
yeah.
world.
They have people submitting films from Canada, Australia, you name it.
So back to you were saying people from all over the world come. Like,
Oh yes, Canada. They've had several international films
Paris,
submitted.
Ireland.
Ireland. Yeah.
all over the world, you got people coming in. How many people are you talking? Like, I mean, I don't.
I
It's not
mean, I would say
Enough to fill a
couple
theater at
hundred.
least twice,
really.
because they have two. They show movies for 2 days. Well,
No,
3
no,
days.
no, no. They start on Thursday, not with the films, but they start getting people together, and then they will have like one or two workshops Thursday, and then Friday night, I believe they start films, and then Saturday it's all day films. Sunday they also have like most of the day is films.
Hmm.
Okay. And so it's nice to know that there's something besides Quilt Show in Paducah.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
it
So it's
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
um,
And Maiden Alley hosts this
yeah,
film festival.
I've seen that. I've seen a little bit about it, but I didn't realize that it was the only one, and that Paducah was the location for that. Is there any other internationals that have some the similar setup like that, or is it?
I'm sure there are.
There are, for film festivals, there are numerous. There's a site called Film Freeway,
Mhm.
and you can go and sign up for any film festival. And there are thousands of film festivals with certain genres.
Right.
We have currently entered probably at this time 6 to 8 film festivals.
Hmm.
And one in particular is Sick Chick Flicks, which is it has to be written, produced, or acted, or most of the crew has to be women.
Hmm.
And it is a horror genre. We've entered that one. There's a couple Long Beach film festivals we'd enter. What is Q Fest
Q
is
Fest.
one.
Mhm.
We're also entered into the Gilbert Baker Film Festival. And Gilbert Baker was the fellow who created the gay flag.
Really?
There's a particular film festival for them, and that is a streaming event.
Okay.
The
That
director,
starts today,
yeah,
actually,
that
and
starts
I
streaming
think
today.
that tickets are available still,
Mhm.
and it runs for 2 months straight.
2 months
And
of
she has, I
streaming,
think
like
she
Mhm.
said at last count, 50 films that's been submitted.
60,
50 or 60 films
yeah,
that's been
or no, no,
submitted.
no. I'm sorry. Was it 40 to 50 to 60? I
yeah,
don't know.
Yeah,
so a bunch.
depending upon how many. And they're from everywhere.
Yeah. So I guess the internet has kind of made the world a little smaller.
Absolutely.
because you can join those things by just sending it in, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
More than
they can
100%.
pull
Oh,
it
yeah.
up, and then if you want it to be, stream it. Um, so just so I'm understanding, so the current, what is the name of you just won an award for the cat sitter, right?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Audience choice, best short
Okay.
at the Cinema Sisters.
And what is the name of that group again? The
Cinema
Cinema
Sisters
Cinema
Sisters.
Sisters.
Film
Okay.
Cinema
Festival.
Sisters.
Okay. Um, and they're an all lesbian produced.
It's all
It
lesbian.
has to be either written, produced, directed, or lesbian content,
Yes.
Okay.
I believe is what
Well,
So
their
you have
guidelines are.
you'll have a diverse cast though. It may be
Oh, yeah.
multiple different. Okay.
well,
For
and I do want to
It
say
sounds like
this. It doesn't have to be lesbian content. It doesn't have to be lesbian content. In fact, um, I want to say that because our film isn't necessarily lesbian content, maybe that's why people liked it.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, that's a tough, I guess that's a tough
right,
conversation to have sometimes, isn't it?
Right.
It is really.
right.
I can imagine.
And although we are more prone, we are geared toward LGBTQ and allies and friends. Um, Half our people are not gay. I
Yeah,
Hmm.
mean, half our crew's not gay. The majority of our marketing person, they're straight people,
Yeah.
and we
yeah,
that is what we're here. We're promoting LGBTQ plus
yeah,
and women.
yeah. I think that's the main thing here that I think you guys may be striving for, and I think that's needed more than ever is inclusion. And
Yes,
because
absolutely.
of maybe lack of inclusion in the past, there's need for someone to do something
Yeah.
for that community,
Yep.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
then it's nice to know though that your community is stepping up and saying we're a community as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We've
therefore, it could be easily to exclude others.
yes.
And I'm just throwing things out here. So
Oh, yeah.
let me don't let me overstep. But for me, I commend you for that too, because and I don't know, I have my father passed away last year in October,
Hmm.
and I mentioned it a lot on the podcast. He was this brute of a man, grew up on a farm in the middle of Iuka, Kentucky, and you'd look at him and you just immediately judge his
Right.
stereotype.
Hmm.
This is him. But as far as I know, far every person I've ever met in my life, I've never met anyone as non-judgmental as my dad.
That's
And
good.
he'd listen to you, he'd have interest, and it wasn't even dismissal. It wasn't like whatever,
Right.
he's interested, he'd listen to you, and he'd be like, okay, make that happy, enjoy your
Right.
life. um and I hope so for me. And I'm really want to talk about the films, but since we had this topic, for me,
Absolutely.
I just think that sometimes I just my brother-in-law's gay, and I I just see the person, really, I
Yes.
do, and I do see the need though for there being situations where maybe groups haven't been noticed as much to be able to put them in the spotlight a little more. So
Right.
Right.
yeah. So now the cat setter, you guys, what come up? How did you come up with this idea?
So, one of the workshops that we took at Cinema Sisters dealt with how to make a short film. And the person that put that on was Nicole Demenesis. And she is out of Oakland, California.
And she
And
runs her own film festival.
yep, she has her own film festival, and uh, she had a film in the Cinema Sisters Film Festival, and so she was there to showcase that. But she also did a workshop, and so that day we came up with, oh, wouldn't it be cool to make a horror film called The Cat Sitter, and this and that, and we came up with just a broad idea that day during the film festival. And we told Nicole about it. And she said, okay, make it happen. And we're like, yeah, okay, right. Well, about 2 weeks later, she said, have you started?
Yeah.
Have you started writing? Have you, I want you to um, I want you to make um, what do you call it?
Outline.
An outline, and I'll call you back in 2 weeks, or I'll message you back in 2 weeks, and have it. So every 2 weeks, she would check back, and she
Give
would
us
say,
little
"Do you have
deadlines to
this?"
get
Yeah,
us to make
Yeah.
kind of push us.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, she just really helped us and facilitated
The motivational
the
part. It sounds like
yeah,
it just yeah.
yeah, and we had everything. We had the story, we had um the outline, we had everything, and I kept thinking, how am I going to write a script? I don't know how to write a script.
Yeah.
Well, I came home one day and Jerry was like, I wrote the script.
Well, there you
I'm
go.
like, what? You did what? So then we edited a few times, and uh, then
Sent it
we're
to
like,
Nicole, and
I
yeah,
guess we need
we sent
to
a copy
find
to
some
Nicole
actors.
too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
we sent it to Nicole, and she looked it over, and um I mean, it just happened, man.
Just
It just happened.
kind of morphed into place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
So we got friends together, and we put out a casting call and casting and crew, and put signs out, at
Maiden Alley, the coffee shop,
yeah.
comic book store,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
just little flyers, posters, needing help.
Yeah.
And we were straight up like honest with people. We're like, you're gonna learn with us,
Yeah. I
because
can understand that because
we're
you guys.
First
learning
time everything. First
Yeah.
time
I
everything.
we're
understand
learning all
that.
this,
Yeah.
and
It's
buying. We were still like buying equipment during the whole shooting process, and
yeah.
uh, we started doing table reads, and um, it was good. It was, I mean,
How long was that process? So say from okay. Now what was the lady, the person's name who
Nicole.
Nicole. So Nicole said, "Go for it." How long did that process last?
So we started, I would say, with the table reads. It was in the fall of 23.
Something like that.
Um,
It was near the end of the year because we were trying to shoot. Time frame wise, we wanted it in because it
yeah,
was going to be outdoors, and we wanted a certain look, Halloween
Hmm.
time kind
Yeah,
of
that
thing.
fall look.
yeah, we were trying to. This is kind of a funny story. We were trying to get in um, the end of the year. The last day of the year was
For
kind of the
submitting to
cutoff to
film festivals.
to submit to Cinema Sisters,
Hmm.
and we didn't make that. Something came up, and we ended up having to reshoot, in fact, the whole movie.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
I
know where you're
think we
coming
were
from.
two scenes away from having the entire thing completed, and it would just have to go to edited, and then we wound up having to reshoot a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think the second time around, I mean, we had
Yeah.
learned so much.
Yeah.
It was kind of a great thing that happened.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I see. I know where you're coming from. I'm guessing this is probably going to be like episode 16, 17, something like probably 16. And you seen the mess we had when you
Yes.
came in. Yeah, and then we just try to make one thing a little better each
Yep.
time. And so I understand that issue there. When you went, so did you just start with like minimal equipment, or did you like go out and break the bank?
I had a lot of equipment left from a photography business, and we just kept it stored in our shop. And so we had a lot of lighting, a lot of stands. There were a few things, and we didn't have we had cameras, DSLR cameras, but we decided we didn't want to because we didn't want the quality of it being a higher. We needed 1080p
Mhm.
or 4K, and we didn't want to use those. So we wound up with the way phones are made now.
Oh yeah.
The cameras are amazing. So we wound up shooting on our phones. And at the time, we both had Androids, but it would allow us some flexibility. So we bought a few things that we had learned about in workshops from audio connections. That was the biggest first investment was an
Yeah.
H4n receiver mic thing.
Yeah, the
And
interchange. Yeah,
yes,
that's
so that was the first big investment. And then we just shot on our phones. And then the next investment became a gimbal. We
Yeah.
bought a
mhm.
couple of
Yeah,
gimbals for the camera. And then every year we get a bigger purchase.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's kind of how we did it too. We started with our phones.
Pieces, yeah.
The problem with we had such an issue with the phones, with the different quality of phone.
Yes.
And then I think we had some issues with being able to load them at the, record them at this. I don't know, remember, it just didn't work. We didn't. We
Yes.
went through several different, and the system we got now is not. It had its own platform that it used, and that's why I bought it. And then we don't use that platform. We still use the cameras, but it's
Right.
really hard to get them sometimes to connect. So
Uh-huh.
that process can be frustrating. It is
Yeah.
that technical for me has been the most frustrating, and and then you learn, oh, this is what I should have done, and now you're already down another track. Maybe
Yes.
so, yeah.
By
So
the time you learn some one
Yeah.
thing, it's something new's come out and it's
yeah,
improved, and you're like, oh, great.
so on the and you had Jerry, you had a lot of experience with photography, right?
Yes.
And I went to your website and I was like, oh, these are beautiful. Just this
Yeah.
what you use on your website, so I can't imagine. And
Well, can
Now
I
with our
interject?
website, I will say that we have a digital media person
okay,
who takes pictures. We just throw pictures at her, and then she works her marketing digital magic.
yeah,
Yeah.
And she
So
does,
Lisa Finley is
yeah,
our marketing director, and
is
she makes us look really great.
you're really
her
nice.
business is called Tribes of Digital Natives, and she's out of Miami, Florida
I think I may have
area.
spoke with her. Yes,
Yes, you
okay,
probably
yeah,
did.
she's doing some
She
marketing
handles
for
the
you.
majority of. She creates websites.
Hmm.
She does all social media marketing for Facebook, Instagram, you name it. If we're on the web somewhere, she
She
put
puts you
us
there.
there.
Yeah,
Well,
She's
and she found a website. We now have merch because of her.
yeah,
Like we have a whole merch store.
yeah. I seen that. Yeah, you guys brought me some, and I appreciate that too.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah. So we have Tristan and I have a little launch of a thing called Win Media, very similar to that.
right, right, right.
Yeah, we do. We're in the process of, and we talked a little bit about the studio that we were going to do and kind of integrate
Mm-hmm.
that in. So yeah. And so then you have a background in art,
I do.
right?
I do.
And what type of art is it that you do?
So my degree's in painting, but we've had like 3D art shows around locally in Paducah. We had
Assemblage art.
yeah,
We do
assemblage art.
assemblage art.
Yeah. Now, who does the welding? Is it the okay.
I do.
Yeah. Well, we do a lot of welding here too. Um,
I'm a jackleg welder. I had a friend brought over his welder,
yeah.
gave me like a 30-minute lesson, said, here, play with it for a weekend.
Yeah.
And that's my expertise in welding.
Well, there you
And
go.
then we bought a couple of welders, and I've just kind of
Yeah.
self-taught play with it most of the time.
Cool. I've done a
I
lot.
like it.
Yeah, I've done welding my whole life, and I enjoy it. We have plasma cutters and CNC machines where we can cut out things. And one of these days, when I get to a point where I'm caught up, I like three. I've always been. I can't say that I'm good at it, but I like three-dimensional art, like
Right.
sculpting,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And I've always wanted to do something I think probably similar to what you're doing
Mm-hmm.
with metal art. So
Oh, I like that.
yeah,
It's fun.
yeah. So now, do you still work with pain, or you
I
covered up with
haven't.
busy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a little busy.
I understand. Yeah.
um, I I skip around a lot in what I like to do. I am ADD, so I have to have everything there is to do with that type of project, and then as soon as I get that, it's invariably I always move on to
We're ready
something
for something
else. So
else. I'm similar. I have ADHD. At least that's what the doctor says. But
yeah,
I definitely have something because I tend to be into one thing really big and then move. But
yeah.
I tend to keep them all in my life somewhere,
Yeah.
and keep moving on that. So back to the films, though, you guys decided to go with horror films to start with, and I think the way we were talking earlier is because the ability to do so much with
Well,
Yes.
those.
yeah, you can be so creative with horror films. You don't have to stick to a certain uh, path, I
Yeah,
guess. And I mean, we in the cat sitter, there's a lot of humor. I don't even know if it's scary, but some people have said that it's scary.
Well, I've not been able to, I've seen one clip of it, and it's where you're looking down. I think you're walking out to see
Mm,
what's going on out there.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let me, so I have been a little confused though. How does the unknown dead girl play into this? Because I
Uh,
see that everywhere, but I'm like,
yeah.
Oh,
I haven't got to see the movie, and I'm like, what is that? I want
the
So
first to die victim.
yeah, the
to.
first
Okay.
to die
First to die
victim.
victim.
She just doesn't have a name.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, isn't it Star Trek that if you are a character without a name, you better be scared because you're gonna
Right?
be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Pretty much. That's pretty
yeah,
much
so
the gist
I've
of
seen
it.
your a lot of merch with unknown dead
Uh-huh.
girl. I think that's kind of cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That is the unknown dead girl is one of our best friends, Danielle, and I met her because she worked in the medical field with me,
okay.
and she did a great job because during the filming of the cat sitter, she was everything. She was not just the unknown
Oh
dead
yeah.
girl. She was the audio boomstick holder. She was the stunt woman. She was the schlepper of cameras, the pusher of buttons. She did everything. So
So when she wasn't dead, she was busy.
when she was
Yeah.
not dying or
Yeah.
When I
being
was lying
flung to the ground in mud and in the rain.
yeah, when
Yeah.
I was lying on the cold ground in 20-degree weather, she brought me a heater.
Oh wow. So did you guys film it mostly here in this area?
It was filmed
In our yard.
in our yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, in our house, in our driveway, in the yard, and um,
So do you have neighbors, and then a lot of
yeah,
curiosity going on there?
Well, our house is located at the back of our property. All the other houses are towards the road.
yeah.
Okay, so you
And
got a
so
little
we
piece.
have we're at the far end toward the
Yeah,
fields and
we're on
stuff.
7 acres out in Simpsonia,
So it was
Okay.
and we just had to basically tell one neighbor what was going on. And
Yeah. I love the idea of it. I talked to my daughter about it a couple years ago. I'm like, why don't we make a little movie just for fun, you know? Because technology being as it is, you can do some things
absolutely.
pretty cool
you
with
should
on a
totally
budget.
do it. You
Yeah, on a
should
budget.
totally do it.
Well,
We'll call you every 2 weeks and make
make
sure that you're
sure.
doing
When,
it.
where's
Where
your
are you at now on your
well, I
farm?
have a very artistic I almost said autistic. I do have an autistic family too, but a very artistic family. So yeah, I have a lot of help there too. So
That's
um,
awesome.
I would love to. I'm in a position right now. I'm just trying to, I get to that point where I'm like, okay, it's time to start leveling off a little bit so I can have a little more, and then I start a podcast. But
Yeah. Yeah.
Good luck
this
with that.
takes so much more
Oh
than
yeah.
we were talking about that studio. I'm not used to this chair. We were talking about that studio and how it would be nice just to walk in and push a button and go.
Right.
I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but for me, I want to do a podcast. I don't want to know 1080p and
Right.
Right.
audio and how to make sure this connects and if you have the right exchanger and all that. I just want to come in, start and talk and have a good time.
That's
So,
why we have a marketing director. That's why we have Gage Moorfield is our
Yeah.
editor. That's why we've got an editor. He makes the music.
Yeah.
He made the music, all the music for the cat sitter, because we just don't know how to do all that
yeah.
stuff. I
Well,
mean,
Gage is
there's so
located.
much to it.
He's a studio musician. That's his secondary job. He's a contractor during the day. But he's in a group called Save Myself.
mhm.
That's his band and his music. And
I think
he
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
volunteered. I met him via his sister. That when we put the call out to get help, she messaged me immediately. Hey, you need to talk to my brother. He would love to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And he lives in Memphis.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I hit him up one day. I'm like, I heard you might be interested. And immediately I'm like, we have no experience. This is our first anything. We're jumping off the deep end. He said, I'm in.
Right.
I'm like, fantastic. And then come to find out, he had his own music studio. He had already done video editing. Um, he was also one of the people who helped create Talon Falls. He was in on that years ago.
Right.
So he had so much background stuff, knowledge to bring to the table. I'm like, well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And we just kind of went from there with him.
And I don't know if you felt the same way, but I feel like we had so many people who had faith in us
Oh yeah.
that really pushed us to make this
Oh yeah.
happen.
They
Like,
jumped. Everyone involved jumped in without
Yeah.
question into the deep end of the pool. They were like, "Okay,
and
let's do it."
it helped because, you when you start something like this, you have a lot of self-doubt, or I had a lot of self-doubt, but people kept just saying, "Oh, you guys are such an inspiration." I'm like, who are we inspiring? Because we know nothing about what we're doing. We're
Yeah.
just doing it. And as life is, that's kind of what we're supposed to be doing. Just do it. Just
I agree.
make it happen, right?
Yeah, and I think there's a key word there. You said that he loved he loved what he was doing, and I think that's probably what's drawn people to you is they can see that you guys really love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely,
When you do something for free and you take time from your life to do it,
absolutely.
and you do it to a level. I really try, and it's hard because there's so much to. I really try to do the podcast to a level as if I was being paid,
Hmm.
Yeah.
any amount of money. And I think people see that in you, and in people like that, and they're drawn to that because whether or not you have a lot of experience, I tell you what, uh, determination and will goes a long way,
It
Heck yeah.
absolutely
and
does,
you know something else
for
too
sure.
in our world, in the world we are in now, which I'm sure that I'm older than both of you, but
I don't know about that.
but
It might be close.
it's quite a bit different because you can learn anything
Yep.
from your
Absolutely. Hmm.
couch. If you can't
It's
find it on
exactly what
Google,
we did.
if you can't find it on Google or one of this, and it probably doesn't exist yet.
We
So
have been avid YouTubers.
yes, I
Yeah.
watch so much
Oh
YouTube.
my God. Yeah.
Yeah,
We've learned quite a bit from YouTube videos
yeah.
and studying.
Tristan, he does most all helps with all the editing and producing and stuff like that. And I said, he always, well, I don't have anything to do. I said, watch a video. And if you watched them all, which you haven't, watch them all again, because you're going to
Oh,
learn,
yeah.
so much from it. That's everything I have figured out has been, I don't know that I've asked help other than Shelby, my wife, because she does OBS and streaming. She's helped some, but I haven't really asked anybody. I just keep watching video and watching
Yeah.
videos until I nail it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way everyone in the group who's come to help us. We were like, okay, we're going to need you to learn this too,
Mm.
or we're going to need you to also learn this over here now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has been everyone who comes to work with us. You're going to act in one scene, but then the next scene you're going to be holding a mic
Yeah.
or hitting the
Hmm.
camera or doing whatever. It's everyone does everything in our group, and it's been wonderful that they keep coming back even after the shooting it. We're on shoot number. Let's reshoot the scene. We're on. It's 10 o'clock at night. It's 29 degrees and it's raining. Let's finish this shot. And
Right.
you're out there. And there were times that it was just me, her, and Danielle, the unknown dead girl.
Mm-hmm.
It was just us three. Where one would run, hit this button, and one would run around, hit
Yeah.
this button.
Here, let me
And
drop
yeah,
the
let me drop the
clapper.
clapper and run around and do the next thing. It came to that,
Yeah.
but we got it finished. And then we had those who said that was hard, but when's your next project? I
Yep.
want to be involved in that. So
Sure.
we've picked up people that are going to work with us on the next two or three.
Yeah,
So
I think that they when you see that, so somebody, it's obvious when you're talking to somebody, are like, "Hey, I want to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to add all these, and and then you're like, man, I don't know about that, because if you've been around a little while, you've been around people, they tend to do that, and so it's really hard to get on board for something like. But if you see someone who's saying, you can tell the difference
Yeah.
when they're serious, and so you're putting your time and you're in something, and also that they care, that they're
hmm
not going to just put out a bunch of just
right.
whatever. So when you put and if you get your name on that, that's worth so much
Yeah.
because
Right.
it's part of your pride, it's part of maybe possibly someone seeing it and
Yep.
hmm
moving forward. And I think that's why you guys are. I need to do that more myself, is reach out to have help, because we just try to, me and Tristan, bury it ourselves, and it's way more than what people would think. Because
Yeah.
so many people I've talked to are like, I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm starting a podcast, we're doing pretty good, and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to do a podcast. I'm like, really? Really? Because you're
Sounds
ready.
good in theory.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they
Uh-huh.
it's
could
the
just sit
just
down and start.
pushing yourself through it to actually
Yeah,
do it's a totally different ball game once you get into starting something like
sure. Well, you
this.
sit down, you think, well, I'm just gonna sit down and have a conversation with friends, and new friends, and that is it. But I think that's really the smallest part of it.
It
I
is.
10 o'clock, 10 9, which of course working multiple jobs makes it
Mhm.
hard. But it'll be 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I am sitting there, sending out emails to people about can you make it in, and the next thing I'm working on an ad to go on Facebook, and then helping Tristan edit, and we're doing trailers, and it's a lot to
Yeah.
do. And I'm sure with you guys, you do. Well, let me ask this: how long is the film? The
We focus mainly on short films. When you go to film festivals, they have different levels of films. You can do micro shorts, you can do short films, and each division has a length of what it can be. Like some film festivals, a short film can be 20 minutes and under. Some film festivals be 30 minutes and under. And then you have the full feature films or documentaries or horrors or comic. Uh, it's different. It depends upon what you want to submit to. We like short horror films. One, it's much easier to shoot.
Yeah,
It requires less people for the most part. But as we go through and the more we've learned, I think we have started thinking of going further, making longer films.
yeah,
But for the most part, our focus is going to be short horror, even though we're 20 pages into a full feature comedy eventually.
yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. I can imagine. It would seem like, just from my experience doing this, I think we've had one podcast get close to 3 hours. And they'll get several views, but really the people are watching the shorts. Everybody
Yeah.
watches our shorts,
Yeah.
and so those get the most views and the most follow up. I can imagine if you were at a film festival, the ones that are really going to be watched the most would probably be the shorter ones, because
Yeah.
you're not going to sit there want to watch. If you're only there for 2 or 3 days, you're not going to be able to sit and watch hours of film. So you want to
Right.
get as much in as you can.
Well, the cat sitter is, I think it is right at 20 minutes,
Something like that. 2021, depending
50
upon which version we
some
submit.
odd
Yeah,
seconds.
so you got to get a
So
lot in quick then.
Yeah.
that's the hard part.
Yeah, get some
Make it
character
exciting.
development.
Make it. You have to have the beginning, the middle, the end, and have it all exciting and make sense in 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, and build some character development there. Get
Yeah,
people to kind
absolutely.
of.
That's the hard part.
Yeah. So how many people did you have total working
Oh
on it?
gosh. For the cat sitter, let me count. You talk while I count.
Okay, there was
Sounds
a
like
friend
a
of mine
circle.
who I had done some work with in North Carolina. Actually, would fly in from North Carolina to work. So she was totally
Fly
committed.
in.
She would fly in 2 or 3 weekends on the times we needed her to shoot.
I think we
That's a
She
had a
would
friend.
come
total of
in.
8 people maybe on set
But
at
if you
one
count
time.
the total crew and actors, probably 8. And
And that
sometimes
was
they
cast
weren't
and
all
crew.
there. They weren't all there at one time most of the time. But at minimum 3 on a
Yeah.
But the
shoot.
most was
But the
8.
most it was probably 8 on
And
that movie.
and then on top of that, you had marketing people
Yes.
and
Yes, and
then
Lisa was
editors and
Yes.
things like that. So you
and
had a pretty large group of people working together total.
surprisingly, yes,
Yeah.
and they stuck with us. I
Yeah.
And
mean,
then the second film is being edited right now. It was shot last year, and we had even more. We had even
Mhm.
more people.
So, yeah, is there any? So there's a second film. I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
knew you were surely working on more things, but so you
Oh,
have
yeah.
one in the, what do they call it?
In the
In the
can.
In the
can.
It's
can.
in the
Yeah.
can right now. It's being Gage has it, and he's editing
Yeah.
to finish that up, and then we have just organized and gotten 2 more volunteers for crew
For a
to
third film.
start
Yeah.
for the third film to be shot later this year.
Cool. So are all three of these going to be horror genre?
Yep.
Okay, because
Oh
you
yeah.
said something a little bit about comedy there too. So
Um, I've been working on finishing up a script that will require a lot of actors
A
yeah.
for that
lot.
one, and it's going to be a full length feature comedy.
Or so we think.
When it comes to scripts, um, the theory is every page of script is a minute on film.
Wow. Okay.
So you have to
Interesting.
think Your script's got to be 100. If you're going to have an hour and 15 minutes, that's 115 pages of script you've got to come up with.
That's interesting.
So, and I'm only 20 pages into the full length.
Yeah.
And now that, and we've been learning when I started it about a year and a half ago, I'm like, boy, every workshop, I'm like, I learned something new. So now I'm going to okay, I'm going to scrap that and start all over again because now I have new character development stuff that I've learned, new ways of doing this, new ways of doing that. So my
Yeah.
theory is to have that completed and shot by the end of next year.
That's cool. You guys are busy.
Yeah.
So full-time jobs though, right?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, plus probably. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus mowing 7 acres,
Oh
which
yeah.
Jerry does.
Yeah, that's a job.
I mowed half of
It's my
mine.
third job.
I mowed half of mine. I don't have. I think I got 2 maybe acres, but I mowed half of it in this rain. But so a lot of nights working and weekends. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, when you are, so do you guys? Okay, I know you were acting in it some
Mhm.
because that's just. I haven't. I really want to see this thing,
Well,
and I
We're
really
gonna
tried.
we're gonna give you guys a special show.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome
Yes,
because
yes,
I'm
we will
really,
give
I
you a
really,
special
because
show.
the more I look at it, the more I just get interested. But I think I seen a small clip, and I seen you
Uh-huh.
were. Do you do any of the acting at all, Jay?
Oh no.
No,
No.
yeah.
I could suggest something.
Yeah,
We could give you a viewing and then do the second half of the podcast.
absolutely. We could definitely bring you back
Would
in.
that
I
make?
would
Oh,
love
yeah.
that.
Would
Yeah,
that make?
Yeah.
yeah. We can figure. Yeah, definitely.
I
That'll give
mean,
me
we
a
could
little more
show you
context.
here now.
Oh, okay.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we could take a
and
little
then,
break.
And
Take
then
a break.
do.
And then we're about 30 minutes in now. Yeah, 40. Yeah, so it's a good time.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you want to do that?
That sounds
Yeah,
good.
That's
we could
20 minutes though.
Oh,
If
that-
you're
Yeah,
okay,
we're
I'm
Oh,
not
yeah,
going
that's
nowhere.
fine.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
if
We don't have
it
anything.
might be more interesting if you have
I would
more
have
context.
a little more
It'd
context.
give you
Yeah,
a-
because I'm really.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Let's call
Let's
it
do
cut there, Tristan. All right. Well, Edie, that was a really good idea. We took a little pause there and actually watched the cat setter. And I have to say, I was so curious from the little clips. You guys did good with that clip, making me like, what in the world's going on here? But it was, I think you did a really good job making it feel, what's the word? It's not eerie. It's more of a, you just
It
felt
was campy.
It was very campy.
little, yeah,
Oh,
a
we
little
love campy.
almost uncomfortable. You felt how you were when you walked into the
Uh-huh.
room and you saw how everything was, and how odd the other character was acting. It gave you
Yeah.
that unsettling. That's what
Right,
I was.
right,
You
right,
were
right.
just
Yeah.
kind of,
For
you
sure.
felt that. Yeah, that was great, and you had a little humor in there too. That I thought that was, that always makes it fun.
Yeah.
So when you were doing that, there's a lot of camera angles. That's something that I don't think a lot of people think about. So when you're driving, you have to set the camera up,
Uh-huh.
and then drive, and then, oh, we should have set it over here because we forgot. Did you have a lot of that kind of stuff?
We always shot with 2 cameras.
Mhm.
So you
But
had,
we
so you had
also had
options.
always
Yeah.
options. Do we take the better sounding one or the better visual one?
And we had a
mix
drone
them.
that we
Yeah.
Gage let us borrow, so we got to play around with that. Jerry
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the one scene. It was kind of up high visual, and I thought, because we used to do a lot with drones back in the day. I guess getting into that, the technology part of it. So you had 2 cameras going. Did you do a lot of like audio over your video, or did you just use the audio your cameras were recording?
We wound up having both.
Okay.
We would use whichever version audio sounded the best. Like
Yeah,
if the camera was picking up much better from the phone, we would use that audio. But we did have the H4n at the time for shooting that one that we also put in there.
Okay.
And there
we would
was
kind
one
of blend them.
There was one scene where we had, of course, several different takes, and one take looked better in video, but then the second half of that was better in another take. So our editor thankfully was able to, switch at the right time to be able to use
To overlap,
to
put a
blend
good-
them. Yeah, he did a
Oh, I
great
forgot
job.
we did use labs. We did purchase labs.
Yeah, I don't think those labs were very good in that first movie though.
And when
The
you say labs, what do you mean?
The small portable
lavalier
Okay.
mics you could
mics.
hide
Yeah.
on people.
Yeah, we've tried that on one of our last. We had multiple people. We had a rodeo kits in there, were a lot of fun,
Mhm.
but we had a ton of echo. Yeah, that we
Yeah.
got from those.
There's
Yeah,
one the we just purchased the DJI ones, and
Yeah.
they have a noise canceling, and you can adjust each mic and filter. It has a what is it, a 30 channel filter on it.
really.
Ooh,
Yeah, the
that has
DJI.
helped.
So explain that to. So I kind of understand, but I think maybe we need to be careful here because I have a little. I'm nowhere near, way far from expert, but because of the podcast, I've dealt with some of the things you're talking about.
Hmm.
But a lot of people don't understand what you're talking about when you're talking about 30 channel, and noise canceling and
We
all
don't
that.
either.
Okay.
We're
We'll
just
leave
making
that
it
to
up.
Gage. You go to
Yeah.
Gage Moorfield.
It just sounds technical when you say it.
That's the extent of it. Us learning enough to we could make adjustments so that on his end in the editing, he can take out parts of the audio and split them up much
Yeah.
easier and clean it up
And you
for
don't,
us.
so when you do audio, there's a sweet spot that you want to hit, right? Um, and you can with the DJI lavaliers, the ones that we bought, we used in the second film. Um, you can uh, record it in like a raw format to where on the editing end you can adjust it a lot better and make it get to that sweet spot if it's not there, or if it's over the sweet spot you can bring it down to where it's not so hot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so much goes into that. Surprises you. I like the way. For me, I'm sitting here watching your show, and I'm like, okay, where is it? Where are they at? Because you like shot it local, so I'm like, what's that
right.
sign say back there? You know, because but it's interesting to see that little bit of certain things that I'm familiar with.
It's a little
Right.
surreal, isn't it?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
something in the very beginning, I wanted to ask you, and I'm glad you kind of said that, because is it sort of surreal when you see that final cut and you see the intro with your names as
Absolutely.
producers? You see that because to me that look, that's what you start a movie out with. So it's kind of, I don't know.
It's crazy.
It's very emotional. Like as Gage was editing, he would send us parts of it. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm this far,
Yeah.
and each one that came across was like, holy shit, we did that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're like, wow, we do that,
Yeah.
and it's amazing and beyond
I think the
surreal.
first one we got where we were just kind of blown away and we were like, oh, yeah, we need to use two cameras at all time now was that first scene where you can tell it's the same take and it switches where she's searching for the cat and she bends down. You can tell that that's the same take. And to me, when he edited that, just to see that we made something that actually looked like that looks like a film.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't feel like it
S-
doesn't. It's not a home movie anymore.
So we were
It's a
sold
film.
on that
Yeah.
whole, okay, we've got to always do that.
Yeah. That's cool. So whenever I look at that, when I was thinking, have you guys ever seen the movie Aviator?
Yeah.
With Howard. It talks about Howard Hughes. It's got Leonardo
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
DiCaprio.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and he became a movie person. I can when you were saying adding the extra cameras and stuff, I couldn't help but think of the scene where he went to like Columbia Films and they were at a party and he was asking to borrow cameras from the competitors because I think he
Oh
needed like
yeah.
80 cameras and he said all I've got is 75 cameras and the guy's like 75 is not enough,
yeah.
And it's like no, I need 80 to make it work. Do you ever have let's say differences on so there's creative differences but there's also differences on like okay that's good enough let's move on and I hate that when I'm trying to do something that I really want and I want to spend that extra time and somebody's kind of and I'm not saying it's a bad thing sometimes it's a necessary thing because
I
you'll get hung up.
I think we figured out
We
that
have
whoever's directing, it's their call. So on the
sometimes.
cat sitter, I directed, Jerry produced, she helped direct a little, but uh, she was very nice and in the fact that if I had a vision on something, like, she rallied the troops and she's like, you need to make this happen. So
Yeah. You will always run into the time constraint because because a lot of our actors will come in from another state. They have X amount of time. They give us 2 days,
Yeah.
which means
Gotta
if
make
you
it.
mess something up and you have to repeat it over and over, then you have to be cautious of, do we have time to reshoot that multiple times?
mhm.
Yeah.
Can we kind of skip it or tweak it in a way that we can get by without having to spend so much time? And then you have weather constraints. When it's 90 degrees and you've been out there 6 hours
Yeah.
already, people are tempers are starting to get a little irritated. Your actors are getting tired. Everybody's getting hot and tired. In the cat sitter we ran into, it's 20 degrees. You're out there at 11 o'clock at night trying to reshoot the first scene
The same one
again and
over and
again.
over.
And then the actress was on attempt number 6 to fling herself to the ground. And,
Yeah.
it starts to take your toll. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of do, even though you may not want to, have to cut it off and say, is this good enough?
Yeah.
Or because you can't.
Or we'll
We
just
just
make
don't
it
have
work.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are
It's
times when that
either
happens.
yeah, it's either make it work or make it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes, yeah, you
exactly.
just
And
Yeah.
and our editor too has come to us and said, I need you to show us this. I need you to show, like, go shoot this for me. I need a little bit more drive time. Or
yeah,
he needed more descriptive of even that first scene. I need I need to have it show where the cat attacks, you know.
yeah,
Yeah, you have to have the what they call B-roll, which is something to kind of fill the in between spots to make it make sense to where you're going to transition from, hey, you're here, but now you're here.
how'd you get there? Yeah,
How did you
Yeah.
get there? So you have to have your B-roll connection shots, and there's times we'd send him stuff. He's like, hey, do you have B-roll to fill this spot? Because something's when you look at it together, it doesn't make sense.
right.
So you have to have that.
So, where does it go from here? So you got you got it there. You won your award. When does it release, kind of thing, and where does it release, and or
Um,
how do you market it?
for us, we have submitted to multiple film festivals, and a lot of times you can't publicly show it or it rules it out for film festivals.
I
It's not
understand.
allowed.
Right.
So once we make it through the 6 or 8 that we've submitted to, once we get through those, if we get accepted or however it goes, then eventually we might try and say, hey, let's try and show it at one of the local theaters if possible.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So we
Which
shall see.
brings us to another topic. Well, not topic, but we did submit to the River's Edge Film Festival, which is
Which people may
Paducah.
not know about.
It's
I've
at
heard about
Maiden
it.
Alley Cinema, uh, and it's, I think, in September when it shows. But we find out on Monday
Yeah.
whether we made the cut or not.
Okay.
Mm,
And and people may not know that that's an international film festival. So they get submissions from all around the world.
really.
Um, so if you ever get a chance, please go out and support any of the local theaters, any independent theater. Give them your time, give them your money, go see. Whether you've seen old films, new films, go and visit them.
Well, you could
Yeah.
be a member. Can I plug?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Plug it
so
in.
uh so
Well,
Maiden Alley, if you go to their website, you can become a member there. It's like, I think we do, each of us, $10 a month. You get your name up on there, before the movies are shown. You can find your name on there and you get a free popcorn a month.
yeah, that's $10 right there.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Yeah.
exactly. That's worth
so,
it.
but you're helping your local cinema, and
And local
they
artists.
show, yeah, they show so many great films
Yeah,
there.
I've been there a few times. I guess a lot of the times we went, we're watching shows that were being playing, like older movies that were
Hmm.
playing again. It's so neat to see an older movie played on a big screen like that.
They get a lot of indie films that
Mhm.
are well worth the watch that you may not see for an extended amount of time in other theaters.
They
So
have the
they're
Paducah
really good about
Film
that.
Society, where you can be a member and actually help choose what films are shown.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. And this is way off topic. We were talking about theaters though. The Columbia and Arcadia downtown
Yes.
Right.
Paducah. Wouldn't it be so? And I don't think I've met so many people over the years. I think we should renovate those and put old movies in there.
They're working on it, I
Are
think.
they still? I knew that
Yeah,
when
it's
Made
still
in
getting.
Alley kind of did that. They're like, well, why didn't? Well, those buildings are so in disrepair. I mean, they need a
Yeah.
lot of work. I remember when it's been so when Made in Alley actually started,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and I know that people were asking that, but and for a while when I was young, like real young, I can remember that they did play old movies in. I think it was the Columbia, one of those down there. That tells how old I am. So.
Well,
You know.
I watched Return of the Jedi there.
Yeah, maybe that was one I watched there too.
I think that was one of the last films that they
Yeah,
showed.
yeah, it was pretty
That's
cool.
an amazing theater. I wish they could get more donations to speed up the repair of that,
Mhm.
because it is a beautiful
It
It
is
really is
very
cool.
much
when
so.
you go inside. Even in the disarray and
You
that
can
has
see
happened,
it.
it you can see how you can imagine how amazing and beautiful that theater is.
Do you know if the arcade still it has the theater
I'm
in
not
there?
sure. I'm not sure. I know
Because
that.
I spent more time there because I was that age,
Yeah,
and they showed less adult films, I guess.
yeah.
They're not adult films, but you know what
It's
I mean.
it would be a fun thing. I
Well,
just,
it's a
unfortunately,
different kind of movie.
it goes back to, getting funding for something like that. If you're going to do private, they're going to always be asking how much money can be made. So
Right.
there you go, getting into. It's really hard to find investors for
Well,
somebody
in the
without being.
age of Netflix.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
world has changed so much. But when you walk into those theaters, try not to sneeze. When you walk into those theaters, you see it. You can almost visualize. We do cars here, old cars, and I'm somewhat lost a little bit of my heart for them, but not because of the cars, it's because of the people I have to deal with
Yes.
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yes.
But I used to
Yes.
could feel a car, it would talk to me almost
Oh
and
Yeah.
tell
wow.
me. And when I walk into a theater like that, I get that sensation of almost being able to flash back and see what it once was.
Yeah.
And there's old pictures you'll find of Paducah where people in this area, when they went to the theater, it's like going to church. They were
Oh
in their
yeah, you get all.
ties and hats
Yep.
and
Oh, fancy.
all
Yeah.
dressed up. That's a lot got lost there. Now things are just metal buildings with
Yeah.
No
so
heart.
yeah, lost in the heart. Um, what about the new? So let's get into something. This is probably kind of a dirty word for a lot of artists. I know it is in my household, but how are you guys feeling about some of the AI stuff that's coming out?
Boo hiss.
Here we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
got to get
Boo.
some
We're not
controversial here. I got to get something going.
we're not we've
Uh-huh.
kind of decided that we are not going to do any
Participate.
AI.
No
Not
participation.
even for um posters or
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there's something to be said about art. Is it? I mean, I've done graphic design and used all the special little tools and toys, and there's an art to learning that. But at the same time, that's just if you use AI, you're getting it done for you. You
Yeah.
aren't really creating.
Yeah. I have some mixed feelings about AI. I mean, I can see a use for it as a
Hmm.
tool, but when I see AI, I can't imagine a time, and it could be in the far future, but it being able to express feeling. I say this because there's it's a podcast called Diary of the CEO.
Hmm.
I recommend it highly. It's one of my
Okay, I
favorites.
have
He
to check that.
he interviews a lot of different people, and he had some people on about AI, and they said, "Can you could AI?" Well, he called him the OG of AI, one of the first. He says, do you think AI could do my job as this podcast?" And he says, "Well, it could look at every interview you've ever done and every interview that a podcast has ever been made, and then just in a few seconds be able to generate something pretty much like what you do,
Hmm.
even to look like you. But the human the people will not be, they will need, even though the story seems sincere, they need to have some kind of human connection.
Right.
Absolutely.
If you're talking about pain and that person has experienced that pain,
Right.
or that
Mhm.
person has experienced that loss or that fear or that happiness or that joy, the AI can portray it, but it can't, you can't connect with it
Right.
on any level.
Well, I mean, from my understanding, all AI is combing through the web and gathering information and compiling it and mimicking.
Yeah.
It's not really, I mean, it's not sentient. It all it is coding, and if you know,
Yeah.
depending on how it's been coded, it's just going to give you the result that you want.
Yeah.
It's not
And sometimes that's it too. You hit it on the nail. It gives you the result you want.
right.
And that's not something you
Depending upon
find
the
in the
data you
world we
put
live.
in it.
Yeah. Sometimes I ask for something, but that's not really what I want,
Yes.
yeah. So, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. It is just a bunch of random information and put out into something to try to answer you in a way you'd like to be answered. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So as far as other technologies though, you guys, are you the last film? Did you film it with the same? Did you do it with the cameras and the same
We had
stuff?
new cameras for the last
We
one.
bought new phones.
Yeah.
We bought the iPhone 15. I had never had an iPhone before, so
Yeah.
um yeah, so
Audio video seems to be more lent toward Apple for some reason. It seems
yeah.
like
And the cameras at that time, that was the best camera on a phone.
yeah.
Apple is ahead of Microsoft from the standpoint of
Well, I think
video.
it goes back and forth, but
Video.
yeah.
Um, the Apple Pro Max has a software implemented in it that's based on cameras.
Hmm.
I think they do theirs. Like they have an app that's suggested with it, Black Box.
Yeah.
Or is it Black Magic or Black Box, something like that, where it is made for video. It is made for cameras. It allows you the same LUTs and editing programs that you would if you were using an actual cine camera. So Apple is ahead on a few things as far as its capabilities. It also has a Hasselblad, which is another well-known company group that works with them too.
So when you shoot, and I think maybe you touched on this a little bit, when you shoot these films, do you do a particular mode on your camera, or you just do it all in
Yes.
RAW? Because I know sometimes 4K can be too vivid. For me, it seems, and I don't know really what the word I'm trying to say, but a movie doesn't look, you don't want a
Yeah.
home video look, that
Well, it
home.
depends upon what you're shooting, how you want to view it. Like most of the time, we do 4K.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, and
but
we did on the cat sitter, it was 30 frames per second.
right.
On the next film, so the next film that the one that's being edited right now is called A Haunting on Dyke Road, which Dyke Road is
I know some people over there.
it's actually a place, and so our editor, that's where he grew up, was on
Mm.
Dyke Road, and it was just fortuitous
Yes.
that
Yeah. Funny
Yeah.
story that it's
Well.
lesbians doing this,
yeah, I know.
and it's called Dyke Road. Which when
Yeah.
the guy, it's Gage's farm. He said, "Hey, y'all can use our farm to shoot
We're
if you
like, oh,
need anything." We're
where
like,
is it?
"Okay, cool." So when we went to go find where it was and drove out there to get some
There's
shots,
the
it's like
road.
we're like, "Holy crap, that's Dyke Road."
Yeah.
That is like, yeah, fortuitous for us to be where
So
we need to be.
I even forgot what I was gonna
Oh,
say.
yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry,
Um,
derailed you.
um, what was I
Well, we were
saying?
talking about filming in different modes as far as like
Oh,
raw, and then you were talking about this particular
yeah, yeah,
newer
yeah.
one.
So we shot a haunting. We shot in 60 frames per second.
Okay.
It's our. There's a couple of scenes that I want to do that where it slows down. So we would in post in the editing process, you can take 60 frames
And slow it.
per second and then uh, change it to 30 and it would slow it down. It
Yeah, I
gives
could
it
see.
that dreamy kind of quality.
Yeah, I've seen, and I'm not going to give away anything on the cat setter, but other than there were some areas where you walked in and the room was kind of greenish, like
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
lighting in it, and it gave you, and then you went from that to a really well lit room,
Yeah.
which was a very big contrast. And you went from that kind of I don't know, mysterious or spooky or
Mhm.
unsettling sensation to bam, you were
Yeah.
back here. You know, you did
Mhm.
really well with those transitions and bringing you from one extreme to
Uh-huh.
another
Oh
and
yeah.
up and down. You
Thank you.
know,
Thank you.
yeah. And it there's a spot there in the end when the lights were going off and back on, and that gave you that really eerie sensation of
Uh-huh.
What's
yeah,
gonna happen?
yeah, and being there by yourself, you know, that was I live out in the country too, very much, yeah. And you can go out and my poor I have an 8-year-old boy, and every time he goes out there, sure enough, here
Oh
comes
yeah.
some kind of demon or dragon chasing him in the middle of the night. I felt I've never felt so sorry for him, but the other
Oh
night
yeah.
he was out on the porch, and I hear him scream,
Oh
and I
no.
come running down, jump off the steps, and I get out there and something flew by and
Oh
it
man.
scared him so bad.
Oh.
But it takes you back to that
Yeah.
feeling of that unsettling.
Yeah.
I think it was Stephen King. Tristan, you ever heard that guy? I think it was Stephen King. He was on a talk show years and years and years ago, and I remember him saying they were having call-ins, and he was at a. It wasn't a podcast; it was a TV show, and they were having call-ins, and someone called in and said, "I love the way you did this in this movie, and how and now every time I go to bed, I shut the light off and I run and jump in my bed, you know."
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And he says you shouldn't be so scared of what's in the dark, but what you're waking up when you jump into bed underneath your bed.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
Yeah,
gosh.
and
That's
that's
awesome.
classic. But that eerie feeling is something I think you guys really captured there.
And that one of my favorite horror movies is The Strangers. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It has
I'm not
Liv
sure. I
Tyler in
think
it.
it Liv Tyler's in it.
Liv Tyler's in it.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll be watching it
And
tonight probably.
Oh man.
that
It's scary.
Yeah,
whole feeling of I think the premise is they went to a wedding, got married. We're going to stay out in this cabin who happens to be way out in the
I know the
woods.
movie you're talking about. Yeah, I
Okay.
Yeah.
haven't seen it yet.
And so the whole feeling of when you go outside and you look around and you're the only thing out there
Kind of
and you live
exposed.
near the woods and you can see the edge of the woods.
Yeah,
That's kind of the way our house is when you go out there, you look across there and that whole feeling of being by yourself and
kind of exposed.
kind of
Yeah,
Yeah.
exposed
yeah,
and not knowing is somebody watching me from the edge of the woods. I mean, we have a lot of horror decorations. You
mm,
saw the big butler. Well, we actually have a 6 foot animatronic of the chainsaw guy and
mm.
one of what is it? Is it Jason? We've got him.
Yes, Jason.
And one Halloween, I stuck him out near the edge of the woods. So when you come down the driveway and the curb, your first thing your headlights hit
I
is
hated it.
him there with a machete.
I
Yeah,
hated it.
yeah. It
And
gets
Oh
you.
at
my
night,
gosh.
we go to bring our cats in every night, knowing I'm the one who put him there. I
Still,
would scare the crap out of myself every night. Every
yeah,
time
Well,
I'd go shine a light,
and
I'd be like,
coming
oh, who's
home,
that?
yeah,
coming home down that long driveway,
yeah,
uh, and he's at the end and it's shining up this tall figure just standing there waiting for you as you're
yeah,
Even though
Ugh.
we put him there, he would still
We
scare
had
the
to
mess
take him
out of
down.
us every time. Yeah,
yeah.
we had to.
Well, so I want to get back to where we kind of started a little bit, and don't want to take all your day, but
Okay.
did you guys get any kickback? Do you guys get any kickback? I know it's got to be tough sometimes when has
Not
the
on
community.
this, no.
No, no,
I mean, listen, being gay in Kentucky is never the easiest thing. It was a lot worse when I was younger because I'm from around here. Um, but for the most part, I surround myself with people who love me.
right,
And once you get to know me, it's hard to hate me for being gay,
right, yeah,
you know?
I
It
get
becomes
And
that.
that's how
irrelevant.
I live my life is
That-
if you know me, I don't primarily identify myself as a lesbian. I just am Edie.
exactly.
And I don't expect anybody else to live their life primarily um, I guess, identifying as their sexuality. It's kind of a sad life to live if that's
Yeah,
how you.
I've said that often, and I don't want it to come across as crude, but I think for me, a lot of times people identify with their sexuality so much. It's like, hi, I'm Edie, I'm lesbian. You
Yeah,
know, it's
that's
Right.
like, I'm
it's
okay.
bizarre.
Yeah.
Should I say
That's
hi? I'm Joe.
yeah.
I'm straight.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I know that that I don't think that really has anything to do with a friendship relationship. You know what I
No.
Right.
mean? I mean,
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
not
care what
important.
who you
Yeah.
were with. That's has
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that coming from my perspective, which I
Hmm.
don't, maybe you guys don't hear that a lot. From my perspective, I love I mean, I
Yeah.
like your friend. I was so excited you guys were coming in,
Hmm.
and I wasn't thinking anything about
Right.
that. I was just thinking these guys are movies, and
Yeah. Yeah.
they
Yeah.
Yeah.
made a movie, and
Yeah.
I get to
Cool.
talk to them, and that makes me cool.
And that's the way it
So
should, and that's the way it is. I mean,
yeah,
like if you when you go to our website, it says LGBTQ plus.
yeah,
Well, that plus is anyone who wants to ally, who work with us, be friends. I don't care who you are,
yeah.
what you do,
As
as
long as
long
you're
as
good
you
at it.
want to be on the team, want to work with the team, you have a creative aspect. Come on,
Yeah,
we're all about
definitely.
that. Do we support women
Well, yeah,
wholeheartedly? But
sure.
that's just what we're geared to, and I think it's because we really want to help those that are the minority,
Yeah,
and
you need to help get
yes,
give the
yeah, give
opportunities.
them the opportunities that they have not had.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'll tell you the hardest thing that I've had to deal with is myself
Yeah.
because I am anticipating. I'm just thinking back when I was first coming out to people and just the anticipation
Yeah.
just killed me because I didn't want anybody to not like me.
Yeah. I see that, and I have some friends that still don't really want, that out there. I'm like, man, where are you at? You live in the modern world where I'm
Yeah,
at.
but it's a
People don't care.
scary
I get
world,
it. I get it. It is.
you
And there's
know.
some things that need to be addressed there. But at the same time, a lot of times it's like when that happens, it's like, oh, okay. So where are we going to go eat now?
Yeah,
People
right.
they find out that maybe it wasn't as the
Right,
weight as they
right,
thought, and if it
Right.
is, if that weight is there, then you shouldn't be with around that person anyway.
Right.
right.
It's not,
I totally believed you don't have to be
But
around the toxic people at all.
yeah, and but then there's also the issue of toxicity in words, but then also toxicity and violence. So you got to be careful there too.
Yeah.
You got to be
Well, I've
careful where you
had
put yourself.
things thrown at me from cars.
Yeah,
The biggest, uh, the scariest thing is anonymity in people who already have a preconceived notion and it's a negative one.
sure.
So anytime somebody is anonymous, they have the freedom to say what they want.
Right. Yeah.
So, on the internet, people can say whatever they want without as much fear of retribution
Yeah.
or or having to, I guess, answer for themselves.
Yeah. Well, and then there's a flip side to that too. When you put yourself out there, you have to be ready for all those comments that
Yeah.
could be negative, whether it's about or the movie itself.
Yeah.
I struggled so hard with this. I used to teach martial arts for years,
Hmm.
kids, the training in Taekwondo and karate and caged. And every time I'd go compete somewhere, it wasn't that I was afraid to compete with someone or to fight someone. It was more of I didn't want to lose in front of the people who
Oh,
I,
right,
you
right,
know,
Oh,
right.
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
yeah. And so, and then doing the podcast, I'm like, I can't say it like that because everybody I went to school with is gonna, eh,
I
you
know.
get that,
Hmm.
and it's a really hard thing to overcome, isn't it?
Yeah,
To
it
really
is.
stick yourself out there and say, okay, here it is. What do you think? And
Yep.
But everyone's there's always going to be a negative. I mean,
yeah,
that's just opinions. Everyone's going to have them. Whether I don't care how great you are, you may do the best thing perfectly. There's always going to be that one person for whatever reason that dislikes it.
it seems like there's a certain amount of success or anybody gets a pat on the back, someone wants to come knock them down for some
Yeah.
reason or
Oh
another.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
But
like
that's
whatever.
okay. I knocked myself down enough
yeah. Well,
you know.
I think you guys have done something really cool. I love it. It's it was a great show, and it's shown some
Thank you.
diversity. I can't wait to see how your everything progresses too,
I think
because
that's the exciting thing is what
The
we
unknown is
learn
what's really
after every time we do another little film
yeah,
we're every day that we shoot, we're learning.
Yeah. So that's me. I can go back to when we first started this, and it was not that long ago. It's not like I've been here for years, but I can see progression, and I can see myself go. I can see myself not being as aware of being filmed. You know, it's like
Right.
I loosen up. I'm more myself. I feel like when I'm myself, I'm at my best. You
Right.
know, and I can see that in yours. There, I can see that. I don't want this to sound, but the quirkiness come out
Yeah.
in you, you know, like
Yeah.
the shoes and stuff like that. I was like, that was great. That really added to it. So exciting to see where you guys are going to go. Do you think this is going to lead to? So for us, we just finally got our first sponsor last
Oh
week, so
man,
we were really excited.
congratulations.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
now I consider us a professional podcast because we got paid. Yeah.
Yes.
So do you
That's
guys
awesome.
have ideas there? Or are you just going to keep it on a?
Well, we've been pretty lucky with the local businesses around here. PBW, if you notice, has a little problem. They let us use their product in the movie. Um, we've been on our third one that's coming up at the end of the year. The local coffee shop, etc., has
Mhm.
allowed us to shoot there. So we consider that sponsorship for
Yeah,
us to
absolutely.
allow us to use their business, their time, their setting, their location. So we've gotten a lot of support.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's
Yeah.
helpful for
And
us.
I'm sure this award that you won is going to help.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the
So
idea.
do you get like a thing you can
We
hold
get what's
Uh,
up?
called laurels,
Okay.
certificates and laurels that for the
Yeah.
next movie. Hey,
on
we received.
like posters and advertisements for
Hmm.
movies, you see um Sundance Film Festival, and
Hmm.
it's got that's laurels. So
Okay.
now
Okay.
we can add that
Add that
laurel. Hmm.
to your repertoire there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you got one film that you out and already won an award. You got another one in the can, and then there's another one you're already starting
A
process.
third one, we've just finished getting all the crew. We just went through the final rewrite of the script. And it's just a matter of scheduling all the people to get them
Yep.
coordinated.
And we
Yeah.
have all the actors.
We have all the actors. We are coordinating with my friend in North Carolina to do cello work. We will be talking to someone in the studio here to
Mhm.
possibly contribute something. I don't know if she is. We'll
Well,
Well,
see.
and we
At
also
some
have
point,
she's supposed to
Fighting
be doing an
Futures.
intro for me first, but I don't know. That's not happened yet.
So we have got Fighting Futures, who's also gonna
yeah,
be
she's supposed to be
doing
doing some
some, and then
music.
my friend Jennifer in Louisville.
We've had several musician friends that are going to be contributing things too.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
So we like it.
And that one is called Noche de la Lechuza.
Yeah.
Noche de la Lechuza.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow, I
correct.
got it right first
Night
time.
You
Night
did.
of the
Night
Owl
of the Owl.
Witch.
Night of the Witch.
Night of
No,
the
no,
Owl.
the
The
owl.
owl. The
Oh,
owl.
Night of the Owl.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
So I don't know how long we're going here. I know we've been going pretty good. If you guys okay, I
Yeah,
got a
we're
few more
good.
things.
we're good.
Feeling good.
Special effects. Are you? How are you going?
The cheaper the better.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
We are really digging like practical effects. I don't know that we have any plans for anything CGI.
Anything? See, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I
we don't have the
like
budget for CGI.
well, but it's
Are
not
you
just
kidding
that.
me?
I like the look of
Yeah.
that cheesy like
I get you what you're saying.
yeah.
You know, it would almost pull away if you
Right.
had some kind of really crisp, clean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like CGI thing. It wouldn't look real.
Right.
It wouldn't fit the setting, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're more keen to like the
How
70s,
can we make
70s,
this
80s cheesy
Yeah,
kind
I
of
can see that.
the
yeah.
fun stuff.
Yeah. You did say some stunts there. I saw you said you had this nobody getting hurt. Do you have some your new or your other movies? Do you got some stunt work done there, like
I
jumping
think
through
the
glass
third
windows?
one we may have to have some baby stunts to see
Yeah.
how to make it look more realistic. We'll
Maybe.
Yeah.
see how far they can go with that.
Yeah, but even that I think will be more practical.
We don't have the budget for
I don't
insurance
know.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that's where you got. I think that it's going to happen, and you might see that arena open up.
Yeah.
Later. Though, I hope that even if it did, like, I hope the best for you guys. I hope you're just blow up. But at the same time, sometimes when that happens, I've seen it so often. even in podcasting and different things, people really blow up and then they start losing
Yep.
that what really drawn people to them in the
Absolutely.
beginning,
I
you
think it
know?
happens a lot with music because when you see musicians come out and they start and they're brand new and they're interesting and they're great, and then suddenly they get bought by somebody and their whole
Yeah,
Yeah.
thing changes. And I'm like,
right.
That's
oh, I
kind of
liked
how
you
I
when you were new.
feel. That's kind of how I feel is like if we get any bigger than we are, I don't know.
Yeah,
It won't be as fun, I don't think.
And we're very much about fun. And because we're a small group, everyone becomes very family oriented,
mhm,
and they really want us to succeed because
yeah,
it's for them, but it's also for all of us. And we've all
yeah,
just got really close at
Well,
the end.
in a haunting, okay, so in film, you always hear that there are two things that you never do. You never work with animals and you never work with kids,
right. So you
right?
yeah,
Our
so
first two films, that's what exactly what we've
what you
done
go
because
for.
we worked with
Mhm,
cats.
yeah,
And the second film, we have two younger kids that we worked with, and they did great.
yeah,
They did a great job.
yeah,
And in fact, um, it was their parents even like
yeah.
helped us
Well, I'm sure
like
they
a
had
They
to.
actually
lot.
became part of the crew.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they became part of the crew. So I mean, we couldn't have asked for
Better people to
better people.
volunteer.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think sometimes going against the if when you hear that, well, you don't want to like you said, mess with do animals and kids are hard to predict, things like that. Um, if you want to have success, these are some of the key things you're looking at. Well, what happens is if you want to have success at this level here, I think this is, but the people who get outside of that, because when
Yeah.
I started this podcast, they said, what's it going to be about? It's gonna be like Seinfeld. It's gonna be about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want because I have so many different. Have tomorrow. So you guys are here today. Tomorrow, I have the guy who holds the record for the most professional MMA fights. Yeah, his name
Whoa.
Jonathan Ivey. He's a monster of a guy. Super nice dude. Unless you're in the cage with him. And then I have we'll have somebody on. It's a pastor or I just want to hear
Yeah.
everybody's
Yeah.
stories. I'm
Oh,
interested in
that's
that.
great.
So, but that's not what the typical what they say to start with is, but this is
Yeah. Don't put yourself in a box.
exactly. And even if it doesn't succeed, I don't want to do that. If
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't want to do that and succeed, I'd rather do this and not,
Right.
because I
I
enjoy
agree.
what I'm doing. And I think that's key. I can see that you guys really enjoy what you're doing, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
the people you're bringing in, that's why they're so, like you said, with the parents of the kids,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
they enjoy what's going on. It's a
Hmm.
lot of fun. It's like something you would do just for fun. I mean,
Yeah.
it's have a
Well, and now the kids can say, "Oh, I was in a film,"
yeah,
you
they get
know.
to see they're just like I said, when I saw you guys' name on the opening credits there, I knew that had to kind of because
Yeah.
it feels like,
Oh, when we
yeah.
saw it
At the
on the
theater,
yeah.
seeing
Oh,
it
even
the
bigger,
first
yeah,
time
Oh,
at
we
yeah,
were
Cinema Sisters,
crying.
it
yeah,
was like a lot of our crew came and showed up at the Cinema
Yeah.
Sisters. So we had the whole back row, and it was like, ah,
yeah,
Yeah, we were
and it was just,
yeah,
and when
it's
people were
terrible.
laughing in the right spots
yeah.
and kind of
You knew
like
they were getting it.
yeah, you could hear like gasps and
Yeah,
yeah, it was like
Snickers
really
and
cool. It was really
oh yeah.
yeah.
something else.
That takes me back to that movie again, The Aviator, when Howard Hughes is sitting in the crowd just after I think it was Hell's Angels was the name of the
Hmm.
movie,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and he sat there and it ended, and he just waited, and then everybody started clapping and
Uh-huh.
standing up. Yeah. I took offense to one time. I told someone, I said, I love movies so much. I consider them an art form. And
Yeah,
they kind of looked at me snarling and they knew it. They could tell I was like, what do you mean? And they got on board. But yeah, I do.
it
I
absolutely
said one
is.
time, I said that I think, the invention of the movie was one of the greatest inventions of mankind
Hmm.
because we were
Absolutely.
able
Hmm.
to bring that. It's not entertaining. I mean, when you see a movie and it grabs a hold of you in
Yeah.
some
That gives you
different
that
ways,
visceral
oh,
reaction.
Well,
it's unbelievable.
our bodies can't tell the difference between a real life loss and the loss of a
Sure.
character. Our brains uh, process it the same way,
Yeah.
or the
Fight or flight.
fight or flight
Hmm.
is the same thing in a horror
Sure.
movie. You know, there's some horror movies like Hostel really was.
Yeah. I've
The
had a
first time I saw that, it was, man, it just
Yeah, I've been there.
terrified me.
I've watched a couple movies late at night, and I consider I'm not afraid of a lot of things, you know. But I'll be sitting like I start watching them one in the middle of the night by myself, and then I'm like, yeah, I think I'll finish this tomorrow.
Yeah. Well,
It
what
gets to that
what
point.
Absolutely.
about video
Video
games?
games are
The
the same way.
horror video games
Yeah,
are just, they're so intense.
Shelby gets into she has a she stream when she's streaming they want her to try some of those. She doesn't do well with them though.
And
The
the
She
VR
the
ones, oh
yeah,
VR
my
I've
horror
not
film.
seen
gosh.
those.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, don't
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah.
It's so
Those
scary.
things can be so easy to my one of my things is if gaming keeps I we she plays Fortnite and you know it is so insanely detailed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, they'll be over on a drop in on an area that kind of on the edge of this map, and you'll be down in the water and there's coral reef down there. I'm like, who
Wow.
thought to put
Yeah.
that
Oh,
there?
right,
You know, I
right,
mean,
right.
for someone who may or may never see, you know,
Mhm.
and those games, I think that's something we should be careful with though, because that not only addictive, it's just you get lost in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can just get in there and get lost for
Oh
days. So
yeah.
yeah. How about your coworkers? Everybody excited? Or you shared it with anybody yet? Or
We
Well,
showed it at my
our
work.
test groups.
are they tired of
Bef-
hearing you talk about it?
our
No,
test
they're
groups are
not.
Yeah.
They're
generally,
in.
unfortunately, family, friends, and coworkers
Yeah.
are the
Yeah.
first to. We'll test drive it. I'm like, hey, can you watch this? And we'll just get a reaction and tell us what you think. And we've got really good feedback from that. That has helped us
Yeah.
One of
a
my
lot.
bosses, I actually went to school with her. She was like, "Well, I want to be an actor," and I just jokingly, I'm like, "Well, you're not a lesbian,"
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
which is, I mean,
Yeah, kidding around.
yeah,
Well, I know you guys love it because I was watching this and Edie was in front of me, and I know you guys have had to watch it
Oh yeah.
so many
so
times.
many
I
times.
know poor Tristan is sick of seeing his dad because he edits these all over and over and over, you know. And then I'll send it back to him to redo. But I know I had to watch it a ton of times, and even as the car is driving down the road and the music, she's still over here bouncing her head to it, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
enjoying it still. So.
Yeah. Gage did great on the music for that.
Yeah.
I always have a few questions I ask people at the end, just their generic podcast questions, and
Mhm.
one of them is, every time I ask this one, I very rarely can I get an answer, but I think I can here. What's your favorite movie? Now you can't say
The
the Cat
Wizard of
Setter.
Oz.
Okay, The Wizard of Oz. Yeah,
Yep.
I love it. Yeah, it's a great one.
Boy, that's a
Yeah,
hard one.
yeah,
I probably have a different horror. Well, a different one for each genre.
yeah. I would have to. I know
Yeah.
what you're at there. So what about horror? Horror then?
From the old days, I'd probably say Frankenstein. From the newer stuff, I'd probably say The Strangers.
So when you see Frankenstein is interesting, you said that. I give the book to all of my kids at a certain
Mhm.
age because I look at when I read Frankenstein, and I kind of sometimes hate the way it's been portrayed later
Mhm.
as the Frankenstein's monster with
Mhm.
because it was a much deeper written story.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And, God and
It's
man
very
and
emotional.
yeah, the connection with the creator and all that. So, which Frankenstein are you talking about? Because the only one I know of, because I think that's a movie that is left untouched that needs
I'm thinking
a.
the old black and whites.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
Lon Chaney, Bela Lugosi.
yeah,
That's my
yeah,
that's what sucked me into the monster horror movie kind of genre
yeah.
back in this
See,
late nineties.
I think that Frankenstein, and I think there may be one in production works right now, is a movie that could be made on such a level.
Guillermo del Toro. Yeah. Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
it's
He's
time.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So
De Niro played it once. I never even I wasn't able to finish it. Yeah, I didn't really care for it, but
I have an answer. My favorite horror film was Fright Night.
Fright Night. That's a
From the
really good
80s.
one. Yeah, that's a cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, I introduced it to them a few years ago. Yeah, that's a really good
It
one.
just, I mean,
It was
the 80s for me, that was the best
I could
time
see
for
that for
horror.
you because it had a little bit of quirky comedy
There
to it,
was
Yes.
comedy,
but
Yes.
it was
and it was
also very
terrifying.
scary. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good one. Yeah.
And
So
that Dracula character, he was,
like where he was walking and he's taking his finger along the banister, peeling
yeah.
up the wood. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
just things like that was really
And
well done.
his interactions with,
Yeah.
the main character.
Well, I can remember I'm telling you guys, I'm a movie buff. I can
Oh, yeah.
remember Fright Night where he was standing at the threshold and he's trying to get invited in,
Oh,
Oh,
right,
you
right,
yeah.
know,
right.
and you
Yep.
can't,
Yeah.
because if you invite them in, then they
Right.
It's
have
over.
free whatever. Yeah. That was great. I'm also a big fan of even the one with Keanu Reeves, the Dracula with Keanu Reeves. I thought
Yes.
that one was well done. It was a little weird. And then I like Interview with the Vampire. I thought that
That was
Tom
great.
Cruise killed
Yeah.
it. I'm a big
That
Have
was
you
fan.
seen
really
the
good.
series?
Yeah, I've probably got a few episodes left. But yeah, I really like that.
It's
Where
I
he's
wonder
really
if
good.
there's going to be another season
I
of
don't
that.
know.
Do you
It's
I
know?
like
it's
the way they
really
did it.
It's really
it
good.
was really good. How they showed. I really liked the character. That Tom Cruise played, but
Yeah.
in the series you're talking about, what is
Yes.
his name? I can't remember.
Uh,
Anyways, the guy who plays him,
Lestat.
Lestat,
Yes.
yeah, the guy who plays Lestat in that
Yeah.
did awesome. He was
He
really,
really did.
yeah, he's a
mhm.
love hate kind of guy in
Yeah.
there, yeah.
Absolutely.
But I could go on and on about movies. I like I like what's the Lycan movie with it's Underworld. Yeah, I think
Underworld.
that was a good series.
That was a fantastic
Yeah,
series.
and then I also like stuff like Conjuring, and
Oh, man.
those
I'm
get
really fond of. Have you seen a lot of the Asian
mm-mm.
horror films? You have to see those because
The
they don't
Japanese
rely on
horror is great.
CGI.
Yeah,
They are very much playing with psychology.
yeah.
What was that one that we watched the other day?
Oh my
The
God.
Japanese
Almost
one?
something. If you watch Asian horror like The Ring, you
Mhm.
remember The Ring?
Mhm.
The original was a Korean. I think it was a Korean
Wasn't The
film.
I thought it was
Grudge? The
The
Japanese.
Grudge.
Grudge.
Yeah,
Um, but if you watch any of Asian horror films, it is so much about the story and the psychology of
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
And it is makes it more eerie because you don't see a lot of the special effects craziness that you do with a lot of American movies.
yeah,
And it makes a huge difference
yeah. I
of
love.
as far as how it's going to give you more of a visceral reaction to
Yeah,
things.
that's why I love the psychological horror aspect. That show that we talked about in the beginning, where the demon was in this person, and he was claiming, but he was trying to get the psychologist to prove him right because he needed to die.
Right.
It was like a twist, and
Hmm.
I love those kind of
I mean, think
stories.
about The Exorcist when that first came out.
Yes, I can remember watching that at
And
way too young of age.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, me
yeah,
too. I never
yeah.
should have watched that movie.
And then you get into some of the more like the Stephen King. Why is my right? The one with the clown Tristan.
It.
It.
Yeah. So the modern version of that, I don't know. Sometimes it seemed like the character, the monsters, were they? I'm sure they were CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Right.
didn't seem as real to me. It seemed kind of
The first It
cartoony.
was for me by far better than
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
second one
yeah,
because you definitely didn't have the CGI that takes away from the storytelling. I think sometimes.
yeah.
Stephen King's writing, his characters are so great that it's almost as if the movies take away from what you see in your head. Like, how do you make a movie that has the special effects that are
To
in your
fit that
brain?
brain. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so there is one other one I wanted to say is called Black Mass. Is that right,
Hmm.
Tristan? Midnight Mass. I'm sorry, Midnight Mass. And I would recommend it. If you like that
Hmm.
kind of psychological horror and twist.
That's the
It's a
series.
series and
So
it's
I
really well
started
done.
watching it,
I think we've seen a couple
and
episodes.
I don't know if we'll start watching it again
Yeah,
because
well, because I'll tell you, there's a twist, and the
yeah,
way they portray it is it has a lot to do with religion. So
yeah,
it's cool how they spin it there. I'm not going to give it away though.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
So, are you guys happy?
Oh yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
I
absolutely.
think
At
we're
least till we start the next movie and start
yeah.
fighting about
Mm,
things. But yeah.
yeah. Yeah. But I think you could do that and still be happy though.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, just to uh the when we found out that we got the audience favorite,
Yeah.
on top of the moon.
Yeah,
Just
done. You don't have to have anything else. Of course,
man.
you want more,
Oh
but
yeah.
if you had more awards, but having that one thing saying
Yeah, but
there,
even with that,
put
just
the
Oh,
put
being
a
it
able
just
period
felt
on it.
so
yeah,
good.
just
Yeah.
being able to complete the whole thing from the beginning, from starting out saying, "Hey, maybe we can do a movie."
And hearing, yeah, right.
Yep.
And then you're like, "Oh, how do we do that?" And then each step we take that reached a goal,
Hmm.
it's like, "Oh my god, we did that." The first soundtrack we got from the cat sitter, we were like, "Holy crap, look at the listen to this." And you immediately picture the movie.
Hmm.
And then you
And
hear
we
it and
kept
see
listening
it
to it over and
in the
over.
movie and you see it on the big screen. Every time we see it in a different way and watch other people's reactions, it's like, "Holy crap."
Mm.
We're ecstatic about everything at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
we could stop now, retire, call
So I
it
say
a
you could
day.
put a period on it right
Yeah,
now.
I
Yeah.
I'm
mean,
happy. So
who can
that's
say
great.
they've made a horror film that's
Yeah.
been
Yeah,
shown in a
exactly.
theater? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I kind of had that a little bit myself. We just started a podcast and we're like, yeah, right. And then we started and nobody really took it seriously. And then everybody was giving me I say everybody, I was getting some flack. Like,
Mhm.
oh, you should be doing this, making money over here. Why? Well, so this is me. This is what I want to do. If you want to go
Mhm.
fishing, that's fine.
Right.
I like fishing, but I'm going to do this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, so I did it. But for some reason, the YouTube channel was really doing well. But then when we got to our Spotify channel, and it wasn't like I had to jump through hoops or I won
Mhm.
an award to get there. It just seemed like, okay, I'm legit for some reason,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and that gives you kind of, okay, now I'm a podcast and forever I have these podcasts,
Uh-huh.
that we created and brought into.
They're just small goals that you achieve and you don't realize how important they are till suddenly you're like, "Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That
This
actually
and
meant more than I thought it was going to
and
mean."
for me, I have done things and made considerable amounts of money doing them. And very few of them were more
Uh-huh.
satisfying than this that I do for
Yeah.
pretty much nothing.
See, it's not
Right.
about it's definitely not
Not
about the
about the
money.
money. Yeah. The money helps.
The money helps,
It
but you
helps pay the
probably
bills.
spend more
It's
money
easy.
trying to get it to happen
Yeah.
than yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think the meaning of life is?
The meaning of life is filling the time that you have with things that make you happy.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Yeah. That's
We'll go with
I don't
that.
I don't think that yeah, I get that that's common. That it's just finding some way to find happiness and connection. I
And
Oh,
you
don't
have to
absolutely.
keep reminding yourself of that too, because
yeah.
there's so much minutia. I find myself a lot recently just trying to take a step back and pretend like I'm sitting on the sun looking down at earth and can't see people. I just know that I'm there somewhere, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I kind of I have the
We're all so small in
yeah.
the universe.
I've had that kind of setback in my brain too, where my life is so busy and I'm building businesses and trying to keep everyone, all the people happy, And at some point, I had to step back and say, why is this really the important thing? Am I really focusing? This needs to happen. I
Mhm.
understand, but at the same time, I think the other day I was like, I had so many problems. Like I had all these problems. I said, but really, do you have any really big problems? You got some people that want this from you, and then you need to pay this bill, but
Mhm.
nobody's in the hospital.
Yeah.
Nobody's sick. Nobody's,
Right.
and then I step back and say, "Are you happy?" And I
Yeah.
have to look at my life and how fortunate I've been, and to be able to do this, sit here with you guys and
Mhm.
have this conversation. Yeah, these are the things that make me happy is those
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to
connections.
make
So
sure you get those moments too.
yeah,
You have to
you
force
have
your
to take them.
take
You
them
have to take
Yeah.
them.
regardless of all the
If
flames going around you.
yes,
You have to have those moments that
I,
are just for you and bring you joy.
I had a conversation with my wife the other night. I said, "It's going to sound selfish," and I said that probably 5 times. I said, "This
Mhm.
is going to sound selfish, but sometimes you have to take that moment
Hmm.
to take care of yourself." And
Mhm.
I said this the other day about if you're in an airplane and you're going to have a crash, it's put your mask on first before
Yeah.
you can help
Yeah.
anybody else.
Yeah.
And I think that is if you're gonna help,
Mhm.
you gotta be in a good place yourself. You guys
For
have been
sure.
great,
Thank
great.
you.
I'm
Thank
excited to
you.
You have
see.
too.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
make it
you've made this
easy to
easy.
talk.
Well, good. I'm glad. That's what I hope to be. Maybe that's one of my one of my talents. But you guys have been great. I've been so excited about it. And I definitely want to have you back on as many times as you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
He
would
just give
love
And
us a
to
call.
anytime.
I'm excited to see the new show, the new movies coming
We'll
out.
bring it to
And
you.
I really appreciate you. Yeah, I really appreciate you
Have a
sharing
showing.
that with me today, Edie. That was really nice of you to do that. I
Absolutely.
feel kind of special because, and you guys brought me gifts. So just so you guys know, these guests brought me some merch and some gifts. So
Hey, show.
yeah, we got the
Okay.
cat, and I thought I was very artistic. If you've seen how you're coming soon, yeah, I put
Oh,
the cat
yeah.
eyes behind you guys. I thought,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah. So yeah, we got this, and we're gonna get this signed.
Oh, yeah.
And then I am planning on doing those coming soon posters like we talked about and having those signed as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we'll
That's
put those
fantastic.
up in our new studio coming soon. Um,
Oh,
so
and so not to give too much away to everybody else, but one of our sayings that we always say with our, well, with Lisa Narlock, she played, uh,
The
the person that was opposite of me.
mhm. Okay, yeah,
Yeah. Um, so we always joke and say, "See you soon." People who haven't seen the film don't know what that means, but
yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of funny though because pretty much every phone conversation, that's what I say at the end of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Almost there.
See you
See you
Now you're
soon.
gonna put
soon.
the accent
And
on
you
it.
can ask anybody who talks to me, my wife. I say, I see you soon. So great movies, great people. You guys really,
Thank
I
you.
really enjoyed my day with you.
Thank you for
My day
having us.
started out so frantic trying to get this ready and everything was going wrong, but you guys made it all worth it. And I'm excited
Yay.
to see where
Thank
you
you.
go. I, I hope that one day I'm going to be telling people when we're at a theater, I had them on my podcast. I had
That's
them
right.
on my podcast. So
Seen here first.
yeah, now maybe it'll be like, hey, one of these days when I'm a big podcaster, we were on his
Yeah,
podcast.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
There
That
you
goes
Yes,
go.
both ways.
absolutely.
Yeah. So okay. Well, great again. Thanks again for everything. Thanks for the gifts and
Thank you for
yeah,
Thank
having
you for
us.
having
I
us.
mean, we've been telling people we're
yeah,
going to be on a podcast, and they're like, "Oh
yeah.
my gosh, that's so
So
cool."
now that I got a little bit more context, I've been kind of trying to get this because we've been doing these like intros and then I use them
Mhm.
as trailers.
Right.
We just started that with about last five. So I've been trying to put y'all's together and make it fit. So now I have a little more context to do that with. It's
Good
going to
deal.
be fun.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. It's kind
Sweet.
of my movie,
Okay.
my
Oh, that's
1 minute
awesome.
movie is what
Yeah.
I do. So
Those are the hard
yeah,
ones.
exciting. All right, guys. Well, all the best of luck. Can't wait to see everything. And we'll see you soon.
Thanks,
See
man.
you
Yeah.
See you
soon.
See you soon.
soon.
What exactly happened down there?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I talked to him and blah, blah, blah. He asked about you guys and da 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 da. More questions, blah, blah.